Kaiju number 8, Kafka, Hibino, and Isao Shinomiya. Let's check them out and see if I have to do any modding to these figures. What's up, everyone? So I am a big fan of the anime show Kaiju number 8. Although I'm not all in on all the figures that have been released so far, the only one that I do not have is Kaiju number 9. I don't know if I want to get them or not. I'll have to look at, I guess, third party prices or maybe check AmiAmi, see if they have them on sale. But first, let's check out Kafka and Isao. Which one do I want to check out first? I'll probably just go ahead and start with Kafka. So just taking a quick look at the box, seems like each figure has a different color. The first Kaiju number 8, I think his box was blue. But yeah, everybody's box was a different color. But we see a lot of what comes with Kafka. And like most of the figures, they always seem to come with an extra piece for Kaiju number 8. Now, here's the side with Kafka's name on it. Here's the back with different poses of Kafka and all this legalese. And here's the barcode, but all these are in Japanese because I did get this from AmiAmi. Here's the other side with a picture of the figure. Here's the top with Kafka's name and another picture of the figure. But yeah, let's check it out and see what's inside. So here we have Kafka out of the box. We have the figure, the piece for Kaiju number 8 on his fist with the little electrical type effect or power effect. His 2 alternate heads or face plates. I think this is the first time out of this series I've seen a figure come with a pistol. Usually most of the figures have a pistol in the holster which cannot be removed. Does come with some alternate hands, a holster with nothing in it, and 2 pouches. I also think this pouch here is different from the others. Usually these 2 are basically the same. So he does come with some other different options, accessories. And one other thing, especially if you're a new collector to the Figuarts, a lot of the newer brands have the instructions on the sides. So here's one set. If you see through the window package that there's another set of instructions basically to tell you how to change the face plates, hands, and how to attach the accessories, and what to look out for. Like, for instance, the shoulder pads, if you're not careful, if you're too rough, can be deformed because it is attached with a little piece of plastic here. If you get too rowdy, it could mess up with that. So let's get a closer look at Kafka. A lot of the detail in the outfit is pretty cool. He does also come with a knife in its sheath. No, you cannot remove the knife, which kind of a shame. Would have been nice to have another accessory that you would be able to use. I was looking at his articulation earlier, and I know near the beginning I said I asked if I would have to mod it. Some of the earlier figures I did because they really couldn't do this. So he could definitely, do the splits real easily. So that's already a plus with the articulation. Uh, a downside is, and does kind of have drop down hips. Uh, the one of the downsides about these figures is they don't really have an ab crunch. There's the upper body, which has some articulation in it. It can get bend back pretty nice. You do kind of have that gap here. It doesn't really bend forward much, and again, you do get kind of a gap right there. The upper body will twist, and the lower body does twist also, and it will kind of hula hoop around, but unfortunately, there's no ab crunch. Uh, with the head, there's a little bit of looking up, not a whole lot. It'll look down some, and it'll definitely look around. Has some, a lot of tilt in it. It almost seems somewhat loose, but you know, it not loose enough to where it won't stay in place. The arms have pretty good articulation. It won't quite go all the way around because of the shoulder pads, but you can have it go both directions. Also, it can come up a little bit past a T pose. Again, you just don't want to get too rowdy with the shoulder pads. They will move out of the way, but if you're too rough with it, it can mess up. There is a bicep swivel and a little bit of a butterfly joint, and the elbows pretty much do go all the way, which is nice. The hands will all rotate, and they can either go up and down, or if you hold it and twist it, which I struggle with doing that, you can have it, in and out or up and down, whichever you prefer. The legs go up pretty much all the way. It's like I showed you earlier, definitely can do those splits. Has a little bit of a drop down on the hips, and the back can even go, the leg can go back some. There is a thigh swivel, a double knee joint, but it doesn't quite go all the way. There's no articulation in the calf. I would advise being careful with the little ankle guards. These do tend to pop off if you're not careful, but the feet will go up, goes down pretty good, and they will pivot, right? Pivot, pivot. But yeah, they will pivot. And one of the things I do like about SHFiguarts does have that nice toe hinge. But overall, it looks pretty good. So starting off, Kafka has his default look, somewhat stoic face, comes default with two fists. And here's Kafka with his, what I call his freak out face, uh, trigger hand for holding the pistol, and a cupping hand basically to hold the pistol, or anything else. And here's Kafka with his big grin face, his saluting hand or chopping hand, and an open splayed out hand or clawing hand. Here's a closer look at the pistol. Uh, Pretty much just all gray or silver, no real weathering. But again, I believe this is the only figure that has come with a pistol. Most of the other figures only come with the pistol in its holster. And here's a look of the pistol in the holster. Here's the peg to attach to the side. But again, yeah, you cannot remove the pistol from this holster. Having the holster without the pistol, when he's holding onto it or running and doing his thing with it. So it's nice to have those kind of options. Here's one of the pouches, and there's the peg to put it on his side, and it will articulate some. And here's the other pouch. Um, Again, I'm not quite sure what's in this one, um, but there's the peg to plug it into his hip, and then here's the fist with the power effect that you put on Kaiju number 8. Looks pretty cool. Some nice little detailing on the effect pieces. But yeah, I might have to put this on my Kaiju number 8. I think it'll look pretty cool. Is this figure of Kafka worth it? Uh, to me, is like I said near the beginning, I'm basically almost all in on this series. Is he perfect? No. Uh, but he's very articulated. He can get him into a lot of poses, and I'm definitely happy that I picked him up. But yeah, I think you really have to pretty much root for Kafka. He tried to get into the defense force many, many times and failed, a lot. Uh, it wasn't until he got his powers that he was basically able to pass the test, although he did it without using Kaiju number 8's powers. He barely made it, and he's trying to do a lot on his own. And, a lot of his teammates end up, pretty much respecting him, what he does, finding out about his, secret and everything. So, yeah, Kafka, is a fun character. Next up is Isao Shinomiya from Kaiju number 8. He is the Director General of the Kaiju Defense Force. Here's a side with his name on the side, picture of the figure here, more pictures of the figure in different poses, all the legalese and barcode, all this in Japanese because I did get it from AmiAmi. Here's a side with another picture of the figure. There's the top with his name, and the bottom with another picture along with his name. But yeah, let's crack this open. Now, this is one beefy guy. All the other characters that have been released on Kaiju number 8, they're all much slender, not as muscular. This guy, he's pretty big, but here he comes with his alternate faces. We'll take a closer look at here in a bit. This face is basically from season 2. If you know, you know. If you haven't watched season 2 yet, uh, spoiler alert, that'll be coming soon. Alternate hands, open hands, couple gripping hands, uh, 2 pouches that go on either side. Uh, Usually, all the other characters, their pouches are usually on one side, but I'm sure it's different for Director General or anybody else that's high up on the order, and an alternate head plate for Kaiju number 8. Again, if you are new to Figuarts, a lot of their figures comes with instructions on how to change the face plates or add some of the accessories. If you see on the inside, there's some more instructions. This one also came with This, and I know it's all in Japanese, but I did look at it earlier. Basically, it's just telling you that it can have some rub off, which I mean, it's already saying it right here. But it's showing some of the areas that can have some rub off. So when you're doing some poses, you want to kind of pull the arm out a little bit when you're trying to get it into some action poses. And I guess try not to force it to go past, but you know, I'm going to probably try it. I'm not going to get rough with it. And if it gets some paint rub, so be it. I mean, it's my figure, so I'm going to basically do what I want with it. So let's take a closer look at Shinomiya. His basic uniform looks somewhat a little plainer than some of the other characters, around here and kind of on the back. They all have that, vertebrae support. His arms, very nice detail, and his weapon is from a kaiju that was defeated. I'll go into that a little bit later. If you didn't know, this Shinomiya is also the father of Kikuru, the little blonde-headed girl that has the two ponytails and a real Sanandre type attitude. And later on, spoiler alert, gets to use a big axe that her mom used. But yeah, I've already seen or messed with it a little bit. It does have some interesting points, but like it said in that one paper, you want to kind of pull the arm out a little bit and then I guess put it in some kind of a pose and then push it back in. So that's kind of what it looks like. I'm not, or I haven't really got into a lot of the articulation, but yeah, you see those gaps. I mean, he is a big figure, had to have these, but they go back in. It's not a problem. One thing I did notice about this upper body, you can kind of pull it up a little bit, and you see there's that big gap. So you can definitely get them to go forward, but you'd have to do it from the front because if you look at the back, huge gap there. Now, I don't know, does he have much of a back bend with this opened? Yeah, he does have pretty good back bend, but then that huge gap shows also. So just kind of be aware of that. And then you could definitely just push it back down. But yeah, he's okay with there. He's okay with that. The head swivels. There's plenty of tilt because of the joint that the head is on. Because the neck will move also. Uh, let's see. I don't think he looks up very much. And that kind of seems to be an issue with a lot of Figuarts, not just those with Kaiju number 8. He looks down a little bit. The arm will go all the way around. And it does have bicep swivel, but everything kind of wants to move with it. The elbow, let's see. So it does have like a double elbow joint, and just pushing a little bit, it will go a little past 90. I think there is a swivel also at the forearm, and there's not a whole lot of movement in the hands because of the weapon. Um, but as you can see, also attached to the back of the fist. That's kind of the same with the other hands. So that's probably why they did give it a swivel at the forearm. With the upper body, it will twist and has a little bit of ab crunch, but not a whole lot. Like I said, lift the body up some and you can get more, but again, you'll have that big gap in the back or the front. The waist will twist also, not very far, but there is some. It will hula hoop, so it will help with some of the ab crunch and the back bend. The leg will go forward about this much, so not quite all the way. It'll come out. Doesn't seem like it wants to come out very much at all. Let's see. What about... No, that's basically about it. Unless you're going to pop off his leg, which, even if it does pop off, you can put it back in. There is a thigh swivel. It does have drop down hips. And it'll go back. And it seems like it goes back almost as far as it goes forward. There is that weird kind of knee articulation. You can get up to about there, which is definitely past 90. You do see a little bit of the joint here where the boot ends and the fabric starts, or the plastic fabric. So there is no swivel on the lower leg. You can twist. It'll go up about this much, flex down about here, and it can pivot one side to the other, and it does have that toe hinge. So I will say, when you're changing the hands, you need to take off these first, and then you can pull out the hands to change them. He does come with his stoic look and two-fisted hands. And when you do take off the weapons here, so his hands will move. It's on like the peg has a hinge on it, so it's free to twist, and you can move it in and out. Or if you twist it right, it will be able to also go up and down. Here's Shinomiya with his other face with, I don't know, has a big smile like he's getting ready to throw down with Kaiju number 8, and a couple open hands or grasping hands. And here's Shinomiya with his other alternate faceplate and his other two hands. They're, I don't know if you call them relaxed, or, well, they're not really grabbing at anything or clawing or trying to. This is just his two other hands, but look at that faceplate. Like I said, spoiler alert, this is when Kaiju number 9 takes over Shinomiya, because he determines that he's pretty much kind of the strongest person out there to take over. So here's a closer look at the other head that it comes with for Kaiju number 8. So you can definitely get Shinomiya into some nice, decent action poses. You just kind of have to work with the articulation a bit. But one of the things that is kind of still an annoyance to me, I don't know if I said it when I was checking out Kafka, but like all the other figures, these pouches, and even the ones that come with the gun in the holster, they do get to be a little annoying because they tend to pop off a little bit too easy. Here's Director General Shinomiya being taken over by Kaiju number 9. Overall, I think this figure is fine. Articulation is a little bit different from the others. He is beefier and bigger than the other figures that are out, but I think I can get him into some good poses. A lot of the detail is pretty cool, and I do like that it does come with, some alternate face plates. You have his stoic look and his determined look, and now being possessed. But overall, I think he's pretty cool. Well, since Isao doesn't come with any effects, I borrowed a few from some other figures that I have. The lightning effects on his arms, I borrowed those from one of my Marvel Legends Storm, and the lightning on the turntable, I borrowed those from Jada Toys Street Fighter Blanca. I really like these lightning effects on Shinomiya. Uh, I'm definitely going to have to either look for some effects that are similar, or like I said a moment ago, look for a new Storm that has the yellow lightning effects. So here we have Shinomiya and Kaiju number 8 having their little match. Again, I like the figure. He's pretty awesome. Definitely not perfect, but very posable. Um, Usually I do have issues with my hands, other than, just arthritis. And being able to change his hands out without having to use any tools it's a nice change for me. But since I'm almost all in on this line, uh, I decided why not pretty much get all the defense force. Like I said earlier, I'm still on the fence about getting Kaiju number 9. I don't know if they will make another figure reissue Kaiju number 9. We'll have to see. But basically, that's going to do it for this video. I do like them. I did get them on AmiAmi, and I'll put the link. I'll pin it in the comments because I believe he's still available. I mean, he was just recently released. So if you're a fan of Kaiju number 8, I recommend getting it there. But if you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you collect this line or like Kaiju number 8. What are your thoughts on the figure of Director General Shinomiya? Uh, are you gonna get them? Did you get them? What are your thoughts on the figure? Also, if you look at the description below, you'll see other links to my various social media. I'll post other stuff like photos and whatnot there that I don't post on YouTube. And if you notice, I'm getting closer to having 1,000 subscribers. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Help me reach that goal of getting to 1,000 before. It would be nice to get there definitely before June. Simo says, collect what you like. Be awesome to one another. Till the next video, I'll see you later.